Welcome back to Sippy Cup Shenanigans. I'm Katherine Jensen.
And I'm Taylor Palmer. And this week we are going to talk about parenting during winter and what that kind of looks like East Coast versus West Coast and the different challenges and opportunities.
There you go. Yeah. I like
Opportunities.
that. That's a good way to frame it. It's like kind of forget how like different our circumstances are in terms of like
Mm-hmm.
weather and just like environment. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's not like freezing cold where you're at, but that brings like different, I don't know, different
Activities
dynamic
and
and
yeah.
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 So,
But I mean,
yeah.
even when you were in Utah too, right? Like it was
Yeah.
still
Oh yeah.
very different.
Yeah, for sure. That's true. But yeah, now we're both living the coastal lives, but
Yeah.
just very
Far away.
opposite sides, different oceans.
Yeah. North versus south too. So,
Yeah, true.
mhm. Mhm. We're like opposite sides and then
Opposite
opposite.
corners.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm sure you're super jealous of the Boston winters that I
Honestly
get
though,
to.
I kind of am. Honestly though.
Well, it's like pros and cons, right? Because I do really like having the seasons. I do feel like it breaks up the year, and we'll like get to that with you like talking about
Mhm.
San Diego and stuff. So I do like it, but also like right now in the middle of it, I really hate it.
Yeah.
I really hate
I
it.
I I would I do get that because I commented to Dwayne the other day and I said like, "Wow, he came home and it was sunny." And I was like, okay, I didn't realize how I was feeling until you came home and the sun came out because it was cloudy earlier in the
Mhm.
day. I was like, that
Yeah.
actually really affects me.
Yes, a
Uh,
thousand percent.
and I didn't realize how much.
A
So it was kind
thousand
of
percent.
interesting to see that.
Yeah, it plays a huge role in like how I'm
Mm-hmm.
feeling that day. And yeah, it's like something I don't notice until yeah, like the sun comes out or like and I'm like, "Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is so nice." Cuz it's like it's really gray
Mm-hmm.
here during the winter.
As a parent, like, does that not make it harder? I feel like that makes it harder as a parent because you're not just like focusing on yourself, you're focusing on your kids. And so when you
Yeah.
have that gray
Mhm.
mood
Mood,
changing,
yeah.
yeah, it just
Yes.
doesn't help lift you
Yes.
up.
Totally. Totally. Yeah, you can't just be like, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna have like a lazy, gray, rainy day," and just
Mm-hmm. Like I have to be with the
and,
kids
and
and
stay in
make it.
bed and be cozy
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Fresh air, like it helps like immediately, and so not being able to get outside and just like get fresh air, like in the summer and fall and stuff, like if we're having a bad day, I'm like, oh, let's just go for a walk. And it like gives us a reset and we all just like feel way better. And like, I just
Mm-hmm.
can't do that right now. And because it's like literally so cold. I heard someone say, or I've heard this a couple of times, like there's no such thing as like bad weather, just like not the right clothes or something, to the effect of like no matter what the weather is, like you can, if you dress appropriately, like you can
Mm-hmm.
still get outside and enjoy the weather. And I call BS on that because because like today here was like 20 degrees
Whew, that's a cold one.
with a winds, like a
Mm.
crazy wind chill. Like the wind was unbearable and it made it feel like 7 degrees. And I'm like, I even if I get us like all bundled up,
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like that's like borderline child abuse to like make your kids like get out in that kind of
Yeah,
weather.
it is
Like
super
that's
cold.
yeah, so I'm like, thanks to that. Like we're not going
Mm-hmm.
for a walk in 7-degree
Yeah.
weather. Yeah, some days you just really can't get outside. If it was like, you know, 30 degrees and there's snow, then you could like get
That's
bundled up and
fun.
like play in the snow. So
Yeah.
like it's not like you can never get outside in the winter, but
Yeah.
It just
I would agree with you. I wouldn't have
yeah.
gone out on a walk
Yeah.
for a walk in that
Yeah.
weather. I'd have
Yeah.
been like, I'm gonna stay
S-
inside.
yeah, so I'm like, no matter how warm you dress, there's just some days you got to stay inside.
Yeah.
And that's hard when you don't have that option to get the fresh air and go outside. And we still try to get out of the house because most days, because I like go crazy
Yeah.
just staying in the house all day, every day. But then you run into the problem of being exposed to germs and
Yes.
getting sick. And it's like this endless cycle of like, we'll go out, we'll get out, we'll go to like the gym
Mhm.
and and the kids will go to the childcare there, but then, they get sick from that, or we'll go
Mhm.
out to the library or play like an indoor play place or museum
Oh
or
yeah.
something. And those are all like great, like fun options to do in the winter when the weather is like super cold, but like
Mhm.
you're gonna get sick,
It's a
and so
germ
then it's
factory.
yeah. Yeah, so then it's like you go out, you have like a week, right? Of like you can go out and everyone's like healthy, and then you get sick, and then you are sick for a week, and then you get better, and then you go out, and then you get sick again. It's just like this never-ending cycle, but
Yeah.
so it's like I don't know. So it's just like tricky. It's
Yeah.
hard.
It is hard. The germ
But
thing is a serious issue for
yeah.
me.
I know, and me too, especially I don't know why the past couple of weeks I've been like hyper paranoid about it.
Mm.
And like Austin said to me just today, he's like, "You have been like extra paranoid about like germs and stuff recently." And I'm like, "I know. I think it's because
You
like
guys got so sick so much
yeah,
this year.
yeah, I think it's because we were just like the fall and like October to December, we were just literally
Sick.
sick
Yeah.
nonstop, and we got the flu, hand, foot, and mouth, like cold, like
You got
we
like
got,
everything.
yeah, and it was just like so awful and miserable. And so now I'm just like so scared. I'm like,
Don't come for
I
me.
just don't want to get sick
I've
again.
been
But like
seeing
it's inevitable. It's like unavoidable.
but
I
I've been
don't
seeing
know.
everything with the norovirus.
Yeah.
And that one, for as somebody who's like petrified of
I
throwing
know.
up,
You actually
I'm
have a
like,
phobia of throwing up.
uh-huh.
What's the
I'm
name of
like,
it? What
I
you know
literally,
the name.
I actually
Oh,
don't know the name.
what?
I just know
I'm
that
like, you have to know the name.
no, I don't. I should. But am, I'm like, please no, please
I
no. I
know.
don't want it. Like, I can't, like, with like a little one, like, I don't want,
I know.
so I'm like, and then like Everly starts back going to her mommy and me, like toddler
Yeah.
time, preschool. It's only once a
Yeah.
week, but I'm like, oh my God, praise
I
be.
know. I
I
know.
don't want anything. We're gonna go to Disneyland. I don't want to get sick before we're at
I
Disneyland. It's like
know.
everything. But like you said, you were saying like it's good to get out of the house and
Yeah.
like get fresh air and go and do things. And like I've been so paranoid, we haven't been doing it that much, which is
Right.
bad for the kids because I'm the one paranoid
Well, and it's like
about all the germs.
it's like funny. It's like this kind of self-fulfilling cycle almost, because like my main thing about why I hate getting sick is because then we're just like stuck at home and can't do anything. But if I'm
Yeah,
scared of going out and getting sick, then we're
you're
still
just stuck
just
at
stuck
home.
at home not doing anything. So
That's
it's like,
very true. I've never
yeah.
thought of it that way.
So I'm like, well, if I get out when we're not sick, or like when I can, even if it's
Yeah,
only half the time, at least it's half the time instead of
yeah,
0% of the time. And
yeah, that's true. I think that I have like when we have things planned in the future, that's when I start getting like more paranoid about it.
yes, like
So
I
I'm
don't want to be
like,
sick for that.
yes.
Yeah.
So like
Uh-huh.
when my grandparents were coming for Christmas, I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to spend Christmas with my family. I do not want any of
Yes.
us getting sick. And then
Yes.
like we're gonna go to Disneyland in 2 weeks, and I'm like, we can obviously change the date. We like live here. It's not like if anything happens, like we can't, like we live here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like it would be
But
fine. But I'm like, oh,
still,
I want to go to Disney.
yeah.
So, and then after that, like I've told Dwayne, like Thanksgiving and everything we were here, like I was like pretty fine. So like after the things that are planned get
Yeah.
done and like we're just here, then I'm pretty much like, okay, whatever. Like it's fine.
Mhm.
Like well,
Mhm.
If we get sick, we get sick. I think it's when things are planned.
Yeah. No,
And
I
it's
get
like I
that.
want to be able to do them, and so then I'm just like stay in our bubble, but this time it's like kind of inevitable because we have the school and then we have a birthday party. But it's fine. Like I really does need to get out and do. It's not like she's not getting out, but to do more anyways. And I don't have the excuse of the cold weather.
It's like it's interesting though because I was actually going to ask you if you still feel like in San Diego if sickness like cold and flu season is still much worse fall and winter
Yes.
versus summer.
Yeah.
So that's so interesting because the weather is like kind of the same year round,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I think things just like inevitably have their cycles.
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
like kids just pass stuff around. Like I know
yeah,
when school started over in my area, like there were
yeah.
people posting about their kids just passing things like instantly. Like the moment the kids get together in
Mm-hmm.
mass groups,
Yeah, yeah.
I think that that's it. Like the school
School
year,
year. Yep, yep.
because kids, there's just like, touch and touch and touch. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's inevitable.
You are not you're not protected from the the cold flu season, unfortunately. You might be protected from snow and
But I don't want to be protected from snow.
yeah.
It'd be awesome if we could get like 2 snows here. I'd be so happy.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
2 really good snows a year.
Totally. Totally.
It would all be
I
good.
I actually it hasn't really snowed here and I
Mm,
am to the point where I wish it would snow
because it's so cold.
because I'm like, well, it's cold anyways,
Yeah.
and at least we could like maybe go play in the snow or at least have something pretty to look at.
Yeah.
Like right now it's just like dead trees
Yeah.
and
I think
so
it'll make you appreciate when it does snow, hopefully.
yeah. Yeah.
Because you get that like quiet,
Mhm.
calm. Like that's like my favorite feeling
Mhm.
ever.
Yeah. It
And
snowed once like the beginning of December and I was like, "Oh, now it feels like Christmas."
yeah,
Like
I love that.
but
And that's something I need my kids to know, that
mhm.
feeling. Because
Mhm.
Dwayne never had that growing up. And I remember when him and I started dating, we were driving through Yosemite back
Mhm.
home and it was snowing in the mountains. And he was like, I've never seen it actively snowing before in my life. And
Seriously.
he was like
That's
28 or
crazy.
29. And I was like,
That's wild.
I know.
That's
So
wild.
I'm like, I cannot let my kids
Yeah.
have that. So being here, there's like things that I need to make sure that like
Mhm.
we go and do.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely like not a winter that I experienced growing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I am jealous of the cold a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's hard, but I don't know. We
Lots of like
managed to
what
get through it.
library
Yes. Yeah.
trips,
We
museum
do
trips.
the main like outings we do are like go to the gym. We
Love it.
go to the library. And there's like a lot of small towns around us.
Mm.
There's a lot of different libraries. So we'll go to like different
Oh, fun.
libraries for their story times. So we try to do story times at the libraries. Um, like, I don't know, sounds dumb, but just like
No.
grocery shopping, like
Yeah.
just or going to
Yeah.
Trader Joe's
Mm-hmm.
or TJ Maxx or
Ooh,
something
love a good
like
TJ Maxx.
oh man, yeah. We love TJ Maxx too much, but
Target's one of our good
Target,
ones.
yeah, just like Hillam loves to just like look at the toys. Like
Mm.
just looking at toys in a store will entertain him
Oh yeah.
forever if I'd let him. But um so we do that. And then yeah, like we went to the aquarium this
That's a good
weekend.
one.
That was super
Aquarium's a good
fun.
one.
Museums or like indoor play places. I don't
Mm-hmm.
do the museums and indoor play places as often because a they're expensive
Mm-hmm.
and so we can't like be doing it all the time and then also it's like more people. I feel like we're more
It's
likely to
just
get
germ
sick.
central. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it's germy. The ball pits and like
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
everything,
yeah.
and you don't even know. Those will just gross me out. Just
Yeah.
gross me out. Mm-hmm.
So So yeah, but like we still, like I said, we went to the aquarium this weekend. It was so fun.
Love
Totally
a good
worth
aquarium.
it. And so yeah. And luckily, our local library like gives discounted passes
Ooh,
to like
nice.
museums and stuff.
Love
So
that.
that's great. But it's still like expensive. So it's even with the discount, it's not like a
Yeah.
weekly thing. I was it last week? Was New Year's last week or the year before or the week before?
That was last week, I think.
We went to like a trampoline park and I
Ooh.
was kind
Oh,
of,
I saw that.
yeah, I was like not sure if it would be, I don't know. I just didn't know how it would be if like
Yeah.
Hillam would is too young and too little
Mm-hmm.
to like really enjoy it, but he loved it.
Oh, so
Like
fun.
he had so much fun. Hayes is like too little. Like he just kind of like crawled around on the trampolines,
Yeah.
which was like fine. And then there was like a little like play gym area that he could play
Mm-hmm.
on. But Hillam just like loved it. Once again, kind of expensive, so not
Yeah.
something we can do like all the time, but it's there, you know,
Yeah.
it's an option. So we do like enjoy doing those things. And then as far as like if there's a day we are home, because we only have one car and Austin
Yeah.
goes into the office once or twice a week. So there's some days where we're like stuck here,
Yeah.
which those days are really tough for me. But we try to do like fun indoor activities.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a great example the
Mm.
other day of just like how a typical day like this goes. So Austin went into work. We didn't have the car, and I felt like I lived like 100 lives by noon. Like I
Ah.
I'm like, we've gone through all the activities. We did Play Doh. We did Magnetiles. We made a treat. We watched Bluey. Like, I'm like,
Mm.
we have lived a
Love
thousand
it.
lives
Love it.
in 3 hours. Like, what is happening? Like, we just went through all of the
Oh
things.
man.
And, like, I don't know. And it was kind of also like anything goes
Yeah.
kind of a day.
Yeah.
And like Austin probably got home and was like, "What tornado
Yeah.
ripped through this house?"
That's every day. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, "Yep, get all the toys out." Hillam had his scooter out. He was like scootering in the house. Like I'm just like,
Do
yeah,
it.
Play-Doh, which I
Play-Doh's
have to
great.
say I was anti Play-Doh
Oh, I love
for
Play-Doh.
a long time because I hate that it gets everywhere.
It does get everywhere.
And I hate that the colors get all mixed up.
I also do
And
that.
I
Hmm.
hate that they try to eat it. And I'm just like,
Well, these are all reasons I do hate it too.
yeah. So I was like very anti Play Doh. I've never bought Play Doh for Hillam, but he got some for Christmas from his grandma. And I have to say, it's pretty great. Like
It can keep
for
them entertained
Hillam,
for a while.
yeah, like Hillam has the attention span of a fly. Like he cannot sit with one activity for more than like 2 minutes. But
Oh no.
Play-Doh, like he sat there for like 20 to 30 minutes playing with
Wow.
the Play-Doh all by himself. And I was like, you know what? You eat that Play-Doh. Like, not really. Not really. But I was like, you know
Go
what?
for it.
You mix that Play-Doh, you mix up those colors, you throw it on the floor. If
I
it's gonna
love
keep
it.
you entertained for 30 whole minutes, like go for it. And so I embraced it. I'm like
Love it.
embracing the Play-Doh. So we just, I don't know, we try to find things like that to keep
I
us
love it.
entertained and sane. But
Yes.
man, sometimes we just run through the list,
No.
and we still end up watching 2 movies or 4 movies.
Oh,
Like
I do that. And
yeah.
Everly is the type that will wants to play the same thing over and over and
Oh
over
my
again, and I can't because
yes.
I'm just like I can't
Yep.
do this. And so I'm like, Mama needs a break. Like
Yes.
she got 2 new Tonys for Christmas for my parents,
Yeah.
Mickey and Minnie Mouse. She does not use the Tonys for the Tony box. No, 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 no. The Tonys are used for play pretend. So Everly holds
Mhm.
Mickey Mouse and Mama is Minnie Mouse, and I have to do the Minnie
Mm.
Mouse voice all the time. Like from the moment she wakes
Yeah.
up, she goes, "Here you go, Mama. You're Minnie Mouse and I'm
Yep.
Mickey Mouse."
Yep.
And I'm like, I can't do this all day. Like I
It's
can't
so
do this
hard.
all day. And you just like it's just play pretend. And then you have Riley who's just crawling around.
Yeah.
And I don't have it together well. I just don't. And
That no one does.
I'm not getting all the activities. I'm like I'm my ADHD these days is running rampant.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I
I feel like in the winter
am
it's
on
just
my butt and I can't get up. And I'm
yeah.
like, bring the activity to me.
Yeah.
And I'm very much struggling. And so just trying to find new activities is hard. I need to get out of the house more. But like
It's so
my
hard.
child screams and I can't like easily take the two of them places. Like I can't just go to like if I don't have a front carrier, like I can't go to Target.
Mm,
So like I don't know if I told you like I forgot the front carrier the other day and I just ended up dropping both kids off at my mom's house on the way there because I was like I legit
like how
cannot
do
go
like
places.
I cannot manage this.
Well, it's not that Riley does not stay still. So like I wouldn't be able to walk through a
Oh.
store holding him. He'd be doing
Yeah.
tornado twister circles in my arm
Yes.
and I can't do it.
That
Like
yeah, that's hard cuz he is so active.
he's
So he
so
won't just sit on
active.
your hip.
No.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
that's hard.
It is
Or
like
like sit in the cart.
mm-mm.
Like can you put him in the cart?
I haven't tried, but I don't think he would.
Mm.
Because even just feeding him in his high chair is like you need an arsenal of like toys and
Yeah.
spoons and everything on the side for him to
Yeah.
play with. And like by the end of it, I have Miss Rachel on the TV, which is terrible, but
Yes.
like he
No, 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 no.
needs something. So I'm just overstimulated
I
25/7.
yes,
And
yeah.
so when
You
we
are
get out
not
of the
alone.
house, the walk is great. Like I can cuz it is the weather here is nice. So just like walking around here, I
Yeah.
definitely can every day. It's the fact of me getting off my ass and out of the house. I love it when I get out and I
Yeah.
know that I need to. It's the fact of like actually doing it. And I think that kind of for me that goes back to last week when we were talking about like our ins and outs and like kind of like goals
Mhm.
set for ourselves for the year. And it's like I am working on just making a habit of getting out of the house
Yeah.
because that habit had been made before and then like all the things shifted and then like I lost it. So I need to regain it.
No, it's so hard because I totally feel you where like and yeah, I definitely do not get out every day. And like there are some of those days where like everything feels so hard and the thought of getting the kids ready
Yeah.
and out the house is like seems impossible. And it's so hard because you're like, I know if I got out of the house, I would feel better. But
Hmm.
sometimes like getting
Yeah.
yourself to do it is like
It's hard.
it's really hard. So I
It's
totally feel you.
it's hard too with it being nice year
Mm.
round because
Yeah.
you don't really have an excuse
Yeah.
to not get out. And so like
Yeah.
in contrast to your like it being cold and then it's being like
Yeah.
okay we can't really go out for a walk today. It's cold like maybe
Yes.
indoor activities is what we're going to do. Like I don't really have that excuse, which is
Yeah.
great and I
Yeah.
love that like I have the option to go do things like
But it's not like
um
a season. It doesn't well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't feel like a season of like downtime or
yeah.
like hunker
Yeah.
down kind of.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we don't get seasons. We get
Yeah.
changes in the temperature. So
Yeah.
like it is cooler right
Yeah.
now. And so like the nights are cooler and like we'll turn on our heater at night.
Yeah.
But like we don't get the extremes. Like it's all very
Yeah.
moderate. So one new thing for Christmas, we did get like a membership to the botanic garden over
Mm,
near us. And so I'm super excited. And I think this coming week I'm going to start using that because
that'll be awesome.
I've like been wanting to have an outdoor activity that gets us out of the house, but like not somewhere where it would just be indoors. Like, I didn't want like a museum membership or something, but this is like fun so the kids can go see the plants and everything. So like that aspect of being in San Diego, I
Yeah.
love because we do get to like take advantage of being outdoors and have things like that. So I'm going to start doing that with the kids, and there's fun like activities for them to do there, and little like streams and like all the plants for them, and then I can walk
Yeah,
someplace that's
that's
like
so
not just our
nice.
neighborhood. So that is nice. I do like that aspect, but it does get kind of hard cuz you're kind of like, okay, well, like what do we do now? Like there's
Yeah.
just the
Yeah.
zoo. I feel like the zoo and then now this botanic garden are kind of like my go-tos
Go-tos.
because I'm like, okay, lots of walking, lots of things for the kids to
Yeah.
see. Like those are our favorite memberships. So I do
Outings.
think
Yeah.
like a lot of families when you live in San Diego, the zoos are like amazing because
Yeah.
there's such great places for walking, and then when it's
And you
not
can
like the
do that
tourist season, like there's
year
less
round.
people. Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can, and you can do it year round because the weather is not
Yeah.
awful. Um
Do you feel um I'm curious, do you feel like you can sense or still feel like the change of pace in like summer versus winter? Because like for us, like summer feels like so busy,
mhm.
like we, at least the past like summer, it felt like so busy. Like we have, swimming lessons and like
Yeah.
plans like every day to like go to a pool or
Yeah.
a splash pad or hiking or walk, um and there's like holidays and
Mhm.
vacations, and like so it feels like super busy, go go go. And then I do feel like life kind of starts to like slow down for us. Do you still feel that like change of pace, or is it kind of like, does it kind of stay the same?
Uh, that's a good question. I don't know. I think in terms of like I think that during the summer there's a lot of birthdays. You have the great
Mm,
weather and there's a lot of birthdays. Specifically in June. So like for us. So that kind of ramps things up, and then we
yeah,
do
yeah,
have like family, the weather's nicer. It gets warmer, and
yeah, yeah,
you're going in the pool and you're hanging out. But um
yeah.
I
Because
do
like,
think things slow down in a sense
yeah,
because like you're not doing the pool stuff. I mean,
right.
even
I was just gonna say, I guess it's not like it's super cold, but it's not warm enough to like
it's not warm enough
go
for the pool.
swimming or
Yeah, I'm
lay
not
out at the
like jumping in the
beach or
pool. There's times that you could lay out at
oh
the
yeah,
beach. Uh-huh.
that
But I mean I wouldn't necessarily, but I mean like what my brother doesn't stop surfing.
yeah,
I mean, and I don't think he's needing to wear like a cold, like super cold wetsuit like he would in Oregon. So I mean in terms of like that, like they still get to
that's
go and do
nice.
stuff.
Yeah,
I think it does calm down a little bit, but I'm just thinking like I went through the hustle and bustle and stress of all of the holidays just now, so I'm like, does
yeah,
it really
yeah,
slow down?
yeah.
Um,
That's true. The holidays ramp everything
I
back
feel like
up.
this is my slowdown period. It's still
Yes.
winter between now
Yes.
and like June maybe is going to be
Yeah.
hopefully be like a little bit more chill.
Yeah.
Um, but weather-wise, not necessarily slow down. Like I'm trying to think like when I was in Oregon, like things did
Mhm.
kind of slow down because you were inside. It was colder for a
Yeah.
larger portion of the year, so you're like doing more indoor activities and things were kind of chill. And then cuz during the summer, right, everything is nice. So you're outside, you're
Yeah.
doing all of the fun things, you're fitting everything in. But no, we don't have that. I mean, cuz we
Yeah.
can kind of do whatever
Yeah.
whatever.
And I was just thinking like that question is probably very specific to like our season of life with our
Mhm.
kids, or like the phase that our kids are in, right? Because I feel like once kids get to like school age, then maybe it doesn't like feel slower because they have school and probably after school activities and like
Yeah.
all of that. So it probably doesn't,
Yeah.
it,
But I
it
mean,
might feel
even
busier. I
but
don't
it
know.
might feel busy during the summer because then they have it off and then you have 50 million things planned because
Right.
you have them all the time.
Yeah, yeah. So you're like, we got to do all the things, all the
Yeah.
trips,
It's like
and
it's a hard question because now that we're
yeah,
parents, right? It's like, does it ever really fully slow down? Like, do we really
never.
get that?
No.
Will I ever like feel rested
Rest.
again? I don't know.
Probably
Because
not.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be worrying about my kids until the day I die. So.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. Yes.
So my mom probably has the same feeling. So
Mhm.
now I understand.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen a reel or something that's like, "Mom, when did you stop like worrying about us or something?" And
Mhm.
she's like, "I
Mhm.
didn't. Like, what
Yep.
are you talking
I
about?"
know. And I didn't have that realization either too until like cuz I thought that like they still worry about you, but it's kind of like
Yeah.
whatever. And after I had Everly and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is a lot."
It's part of being a parent.
So, speaking of stress, right? And being worried about your kids forever, let's we could talk about kind of the differences in where you are versus where I am, which and I don't know that it's all that different to be honest.
Yeah.
With the cost of living
Mhm.
and just kind of the differences with that because I know down here it is astronomical, it is insane, and
Yeah.
I am upset about it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to move, so
Yeah. Totally.
um it's hard
You love it enough
to stay.
to
But I
stay,
mean, to
yeah.
be honest, the cost of living has gone up everywhere.
Yeah. I was
Um
gonna say it's so expensive everywhere.
yes.
We've compared like rent prices and stuff. I do think it's still sound and like housing prices. I do think it still sounds slightly more expensive where you're at, but like compared
Mhm.
to
It depends
Utah
on
where we came where we moved
I'd
from.
rather
I
do
mean,
that.
how like stuff is going up in Utah too, but compared to that, like
No, I could get
Massachusetts is crazy.
we
So
could have like acreage in
uh-huh,
Utah
uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
or Idaho. I've seen a lot of Idaho. I could have
Yes.
something probably in Oregon. Oregon's getting up there, but
Yeah.
I yeah, down here is a bummer. Like
Yeah.
we're in we're not even in a like a single well, we're in a single family home, but it's not detached. Like we share a
Right.
wall.
It's like, would you consider it a townhouse
I
or like a
guess. I guess
duplex
it's
or
I don't even
something?
know. We share one wall. So like maybe a townhouse? I don't know.
I was thinking about how we are turning 30 this year, which is crazy. Wait, you're already
I'm
30.
already
Oh
30.
my gosh. I'm turning 30 this year. I forgot you're already 30.
I'm already 30. It's fine.
In my mind, we're just always the same age, but that doesn't make sense because our birthdays are 6 months apart. But
It's fine.
um,
You're not quite here yet. It's
but I'm
okay.
almost there. And I was just thinking about how when I was 20, I would have probably thought that by the age of 30,
Oh.
I would be rolling in the dough.
Uh-huh. Well, I thought
And
I'd own
I'd
a
be have a
house.
house
Yeah.
and a car, like a new car, or I don't know. Like I probably would
Oh,
have thought
same.
like, oh, 30 is so old. Like I'm gonna just
Mhm.
be living it up, you know?
But
And
I but it's not all it's not I see so many things like cost analysis
yeah.
and like comparing prices of things. Like
Hmm.
I saw a video the other day of like a boomer,
Mm.
Gen X, millennial, millennial, I don't know, or us, I don't know. It was three generations. And it talked about like their income, what
Yeah.
they would
Yeah.
pay, yada yada yada, if
Totally.
they all bought at very similar times.
Yeah.
And it was like us over here is so much more and it's
Yeah.
completely out of our hands
Yeah.
and just an insane amount. Like what one would need income wise for and like what they would be paying
Yes.
back then, it
Yes.
was more of an acceptable like gap, I guess. Like
Yeah.
but now it's like you have to be making like
Yeah.
hundreds
Yeah.
of thousands of dollars to be
Yeah.
making it work. And
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense.
you can't compare to like how our parents did it or our
No,
grandparents. Like
because
it's
it's not
totally
like
different.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
It's a
economy has
totally
gone to
different
poop.
it's a totally different world we are living in.
No,
It's an expensive
expensive. Yep.
world, which is hard
Uh-huh.
with kids, like you're just there's already so much
Mhm.
to worry about like you're saying,
Yeah.
and so that's definitely something, especially with like the new year and
Mhm.
everything, that we have been really focusing on is, you know, trying to be really intentional with our spending. And
Yeah.
because like you just have to these days, like groceries are expensive, you have to be intentional about
It's
what groceries you're buying, what activities you're doing,
yeah,
you know, just
it's
all
frustrating.
all of the things. So yeah,
To
add it
like
to the
give your
list
kid
of
to give your
stressors.
kid the life that like you
Yeah.
want to, and to a point it's where we live, so like that
Yeah.
adds to
Yeah.
it. But I mean, I think
Yeah.
everywhere it's just getting more expensive, which is just a frustrating thing to watch.
Yeah. Yep. Up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we're looking into, you know, like preschools
Mm,
or daycares for the for Hillam and Hayes, and it's
so
crazy.
expensive.
Yeah,
It's so
it's
expensive. It
it's
did,
so crazy,
like
but
when Dwayne and I talked about it, we were like, it doesn't make sense because if I were to be going and making like a part-time income,
yeah.
it would
Yeah.
literally just be going directly
To
to
daycare. Yeah.
daycare or
Yeah.
childcare. So it's like,
Yeah.
what's the point? Like, I'm just gonna stay home and get everything done. Like, it
I
doesn't make
know.
any sense.
I know. It's hard.
So I think
It's
but
crazy.
am I correct in assuming I think that Massachusetts and San Diego are pretty similar?
Yeah. I would say so. I like I said, I think you still experience probably a slightly higher cost of living, but
We've got the sun tax over here, so
mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, that one's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, and luckily we get to worry about that, the cost of living year round. That's not just a winter that's not just a winter struggle. That's with us year round,
It's a
baby.
yearly struggle.
Yeah.
No.
I was I just was going to add though that like
Mhm.
I tried to remind myself often I forget, but that like especially with the ages like our kids are right now,
Mhm.
like they don't need much. You
No.
know, like they kids that's like one of the most like amazing magical things about like little kids like babies and toddlers, and is that like everything is magic to them.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
like
true.
just the simplest things, you know, like they don't need a lot, they just need you.
Mhm.
And um and like to be able to explore and use their imaginations, and they don't need super expensive toys or
Mm-mm.
activities to be able to do that. So that's what like that's something that I try to remind myself is like well and I have to remember too that they don't feel like the FOMO that I do.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll have like FOMO like, oh, there's this super fun expensive toy or activity or
Yeah.
like or something, and like we're missing out, but I'm like they don't know that,
Yeah,
you
they
know.
don't. That's a good reminder. You're because that's
So
totally true. They don't know. Just
yeah.
like I could tell Everly something and she'll forget about it in 10 minutes
Right.
half the
Right.
time. So
Yeah.
sometimes she holds on to it, but
Yeah.
usually it's forgotten. So just yeah, that's true. They experiences, I mean, even just like I don't know, Everly could get excited about a yellow crayon.
Yeah.
Like just
Exactly.
like the little things, like spending time together, I think is
Yeah.
just like the thing that matters the most.
Yeah. Hillam, yeah.
And
Hillam
that is
loves,
free.
yes. Yes. Hillam loves to just like play at home, play pretend, which I love, but also it gets to be a lot. Like playing pretend all day with a toddler is
I literally never knew.
it's
Like people
so
would be like,
hard.
I don't want to play pretend. I'm like, oh, but that's gonna be so cute. And then I really started doing
Uh-huh.
it. I'm like, oh my god, I can't do this all day. I literally
I
cannot do this
know.
all day.
And like I have to remind myself of that too. Like kids are built and meant to play pretend. Like that's
Yes.
what they love. Adults are not. It's not like it's
I
not what we're
can't
meant
do
to do.
it.
So it's like it's okay that like I don't want to just sit
Ugh.
there
And play pretend.
and play pretend all day.
I
It's
love
that
seeing her imagination.
yes,
I
yes.
absolutely love that. And like seeing like her talk and pretend to like be
Mhm.
she's been pretending to be Santa Claus and she'll like come
Mhm.
around the corner. Ho ho
Yeah,
ho.
yep.
Who
So
are you?
cute.
And
So
I think
cute.
it's so fun to watch, but I just
Yeah.
can't keep up with it myself. I'm like, I can't do
It
this.
takes a different kind of energy
I have friends
and
that could, but just not me.
mental, yeah, and like mental presence that like
Mhm.
it's just it can be hard. Yeah. I don't know. I think I try to find like, a balance, or
Mhm.
if I'm like, okay, for 5 minutes or for
Yeah.
10 minutes, I'm just going to be here and I'm going to intentionally like spend this time with him and play just like follow his lead and play
Mhm.
pretend and like, you know, whatever. And if, and
Then it's
really
like
like,
mom needs a break.
yeah. And then be like, okay, so now we're going to move on to
Yeah.
something else.
Yep.
Like,
It's
gonna turn
it's
on a
good.
show or
Well, I think it's good to set the boundary too, right?
yeah.
Because otherwise, you're probably just gonna start getting grumpy. You'd rather end it on a
Mhm.
good note than be
Yeah.
like, "I'm done
Yes.
with this."
Yes. Totally.
So
Totally.
that's a good way to do it. Because
Yeah.
yeah, I'm the same. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this for a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, Minnie Mouse is gonna go play with Riley now. If you
Yeah.
wanna do that,
Yeah.
so
And that's the other thing is it's hard when you have another kid, like a baby who's
who?
like I feel like both Riley and Hayes are in pretty like high maintenance phases
Oh my
right
gosh,
now.
yeah.
Like and so that's really hard when you're like, I have
Riley,
to deal with this
and he only wants
crazy
to
crawling
do
child.
well,
Like,
he only wants to do what Everly's doing. And she
yeah.
gets like so mad because she'll like set her stuff
Yes.
up all nice. And then he goes through
Yes.
and bulldozes and wants to
Mm-hmm.
play with it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're
Mm-hmm.
working on the whole like not pushing and like getting
Yes.
mad. And so
Yes.
you're like, okay, just like he trying to frame it so positively, like he looks up to you so much, he just
Yeah.
wants to play with you and be
Yeah.
like you, and he's watching you. And so we
Yeah.
have to kind of
Mm-hmm.
take some deep breaths.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness, like so when I'm like playing pretend, I usually let him take it because she won't,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so then she'll get mad, but I'm like, no, 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 look, mama's still pretending with the voice. The
Mm-hmm.
voice is just with the animal over there. It's
Yeah.
fine, it's still talking to you.
Yeah.
So
We got to be flexible
yeah,
here.
those are my indoor days. So that's
Yeah.
been most of our winter. Even though it is
Yes.
sunny outside, that has been
A
a
lot of
lot of our
indoor
indoor.
playtime
Yeah.
on the floor.
Yes.
Yes.
Difference
Yes.
is yours is very cold. Mine was I was trying to hold off for family so that we didn't get sick and
Yeah.
but yeah, no.
But similar
Yeah.
experiences when it comes to that.
I
And
think wintertime or sixth season I'm gonna call it too.
yeah, sixth
With
season.
kids, regardless of what coast you're on, can look fairly similar.
Yeah. Yeah. True. And we're all feeling, well, I shouldn't say all because I can't speak for everyone, but is it fair to say that we're both feeling a little stressy and depressy during this winter sixth
uh
season?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you
Yeah.
feel that way, you're not alone.
No.
That
It
feeling,
happens.
yeah, it's hard, but
I think it's a season of life with kids, right?
yeah, I have to
It's
remind myself like it'll get better.
yeah. It doesn't have to be that it's dark and gloomy outside. Like if you're feeling that way,
Oh
you're
yeah.
not alone. I'm in a very sunny place of the world and I still feel it. So
Yeah.
it can be hard, but that's when you reach out, right? To
Yes.
friends and stuff like that. And
Yes. That's another
don't
thing.
do what I say, not what I do. I think
Yeah.
that's my message here.
Well, I will just say one last thing, which is, yeah, definitely something that I've had to do more to stay sane this winter is like reach out to
hmm
friends, even if that's just texting you or calling you, like
Yeah.
it's a hard day, or Marco Poloing a friend, or
Yeah.
calling my mom, or reaching out to see if someone wants to get together for a play date or something like
Makes a difference.
yeah, yeah. So if you I don't or if you can't manage that, talk to your therapist. I don't know. Like
Yes.
whatever you can manage to like I don't know, get some help. You don't have to do it alone.
No. There's a whole village.
Yes.
wherever you are in the world, reach out. You have people
Yes.
surrounding you. Or reach
Yes.
out to us if you feel like you don't
Yeah,
have
I was gonna
anybody. We're
say,
here too.
even if you can only muster the energy to send a text or DM us
Yeah,
on Instagram,
we're here.
like, yeah,
We'd love to chat.
yes, yes, we love all of you and happy sixth season. uh,
Oh, happy
I was gonna
sixth
say happy
season.
sixth season. I don't know. That's not very happy, but
Hopefully
um,
everybody is healthy and
yes, we're
happy.
sending healthy
Yes.
vibes
Starting the new year off
and
well.
yes.
And if anybody is listening from LA, because I'm in the area, I just have to say we hope you're all well out there too, because that
Yes.
is very scary, just where we are. So hope
Yeah, absolutely.
everyone
We're
is well.
sending prayers
And
and all
yes,
the good vibes
yeah,
that way. And thanks for joining us. Follow us on Instagram at Sippy Cup Shenanigans for some more ideas on how to stay sane this winter
yeah.
and all the mom
All the
things.
fun things. We're getting back to posting.
Yes.
Okay, have
Hopefully.
yeah, yeah, we've
We're
got this.
manifesting.
We've got this. We're scheduling now.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we'll see you all next week.
Bye.